Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Let me start by saying I do not believe this is going to happen. All right? I just want to throw it out there. I'm not putting this out there suggesting that there's a good possibility of it happening. But when the draft comes around every year, there are always circumstances that arise that nobody anticipates. So it's worth talking about just to have it out there because of what possibilities do exist. Again, possibilities. Bill Barnwell every year goes to ESPN.com and presents a trade in the first round for every team. And for the New Orleans Saints, he proposes a trade that has the Saints going up to number 5 in the draft, where the Chargers are slotted, to take whoever they feel is the best offensive tackle in the draft, most likely Joe Alt out of Notre Dame, 6'9", 320-pound Adonis, right? Well, the proposed trade from Barnwell is the Saints sending the 14th overall pick, the 45th pick, and Trevor Penning to the Chargers for the 5th pick. So this year's 1, 2, and Trevor Penning to move up to number 5 overall. Now, I want to be very clear. If the Saints can give up the 14th pick, the 45th pick, and a bust to go up to number 5 to get who they feel might be their franchise left tackle for a dozen years, do it in a heartbeat. Like, run the card up to the podium. All right? I want to remind, when we talk about trades, we have to look at it in terms of, do you remember what you gave up for a successful trade? Here's the example I like to use. Julio Jones. The Atlanta Falcons were thought to be lunatics when they traded up to get Julio Jones. Do you remember this? The Atlanta Falcons sent 5 picks to Cleveland to go up to number 6 to take Julio. They sent 2 1s, a 2, a 4, and a 5. So that year's first-round pick, the next year's first-round pick, a second-round pick, a 4, and a 5. They sent 5 picks, 2 1s and a 2 included, to move up to 6 to take Julio Jones. Do you think anyone in Atlanta, anyone associated with that organization, regrets that deal? Julio Jones became the greatest receiver in the history of that organization. He was there when the Atlanta Falcons saw Matt Ryan win an MVP. They were up 28-3 in the Super Bowl. I mean, they were on the cusp. No one in Atlanta regrets that trade because they hit. My guess is there's people in Chicago that probably aren't super pumped that the Bears moved up to 2 to take Mitchell Trubisky. Right? It's all about how does it work. So, if the Saints make a deal to go up to 5 and you take Joe Alt, and ultimately what you did is you drafted Willie Roaf, a guy that's going to go to the Hall of Fame and be your franchise tackle and the best tackle your organization's ever seen, no one's going to give a rip what you traded. So there's always that part of it. So from the Saints' perspective, if you even consider moving up in round 1, that's what it is. It's like, are you that bullish? Are you that convicted on a player that you're saying, we're going to get him because we know that is as close to a can't-miss prospect as you'll ever find? And if that's the case, then okay. Now, the other part of that is, why would anybody want Trevor Penning? Now, we could certainly look at it from the component of Trevor Penning's contract, okay? He just finished his second year in the league. He's on a rookie deal. So if you did trade Trevor Penning, you'd be sending him to a new team with a 5th-year option, of course, but he's got 2024, 2025, and then a 5th-year option after that. And again, remember, rookie deals are capped, so Trevor Penning, his cap hit this year is 3.8, next year is 4.5, and then you have the 5th-year option in 2026. Yes, there would be some dead money for New Orleans, but who cares, because the Saints don't seem to care about that at all. I think it's more like, would that be any incentive for a team to take Trevor Penning? It's not like in the NBA where sometimes you have like a salary dump that you have when you trade a player. It's like, all right, we're going to do this deal, but you're going to take this player to take a salary off our books because you have the space. That's not exactly how it's going to work in the NFL. My thought is only with respect to this proposed trade that Bill Barnwell put out there. The question, like the biggest question is how big of a difference is there? If the Saints are going left tackle or offensive tackle, and we all believe they are, how big of a difference is there at tackle between whoever is the first tackle in the draft, if it's Joe Alt, and whoever would be there at 14? Like, if you go Joe Alt and then Fuaga and Fashanu and Fugisi, the three Fs as they call them, like, how much of a gap is there? No doubt that you'd have them ranked, but how big of a difference is there among those three or four? So that's really the question that you have to ask yourself. If you're New Orleans, could you stay at 14, take a guy that whoever of those four is available you at 14, you're pumped, and you keep the 45th pick, and so now you get two players? Or do you move up to get the guy you think is the best at your biggest position of need? The thing that I'll tell you why I'm inclined to say stay where you are is NFL.com, after this free agent cycle, ranked the NFL rosters. They've got the Saints 25th. You have the 25th best roster in the NFL. It's subjective, but you have the 25th best roster in the NFL. We all understand this isn't one of the best rosters in the league. So if you're that low, you have needs. So I would rather two potential starters in the top 50 as opposed to one. So yes, I could be on board with moving up to get a player you're convicted on. But I'm more interested in filling as many holes as possible with talented young players on rookie deals. So my vote is stay at 14, draft a tackle, draft the best available receiver at 45, and hope you get two starters out of it. And pray that Trevor Penning becomes a serviceable starter in the NFL. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.